Hello and welcome to California Gun Law. I'm your host, Don Hammond. In this video, we're going to discuss what to tell the cops when you're carrying a gun in California. We'll discuss a couple of different scenarios, of course, whether you do have a CCW license or whether you don't. I'm a licensed California attorney, primarily a criminal defense attorney, and I'm a shooting instructor. I regularly help teach the 16-hour class that is required to get a California CCW license. On this program, we provide information and education to help people understand California's complicated web of gun laws and regulations, and there are a lot of traps for the unwary. So we want to help you do it right, so hopefully you won't need our criminal defense legal services. So, what do you tell the cops when you're carrying a gun in California? If you don't have a license and you're not carrying legally, don't tell them anything. Shut up. You're not going to help yourself by trying to explain that you were carrying because you were afraid of so-and-so or because you need protection or whatever your reason is for carrying a gun. It's not going to help you. Also, don't argue with them about whether it's legal or not. We'll do that in court. If you are carrying a gun legally, California has no obligation, there's no duty to inform the police that you are carrying a gun or that you have a CCW license. Does that make it a good idea? Depends on the situation. Also, some agencies that issue CCW licenses, such as the LA County Sheriff's Department, for one that I know of, make it a condition of your license that you must tell the police if you encounter them in the course of their duties that you have a CCW license, whether you're carrying or not, and also that you are carrying a gun if you are carrying. The fact that you have a CCW license does not show up in the California Law Enforcement Telecommunications System, which they call CLETS. So the officer, when they pull you over, will not know whether you have a CCW license. It doesn't show up in their system. So what do we recommend people do? In most situations, the right thing to do is to put your hands up on the steering wheel, keep them visible, make the officer feel safe and comfortable that way first, and then when they come up to your window, I would go ahead and tell them. I think it's a really good idea to tell them, "Officer, I'm a licensed CCW holder. I have a CCW license. And today I'm carrying a pistol on my right hip at 3 o'clock. They'll understand what that means. And think about what you just told them. You've just told them that you are licensed, that you're background checked, you've been vetted, that you're trained, and you know what you're doing with that gun. One of the most important things there is that they know you've been background checked and you don't have any significant criminal history. You've told them that you are different and that your gun is different from every other gun that they see out on the street every day. Most of the guns they see are illegal. They're being carried by people who have seriously nasty backgrounds, people who are felons, and people who are not allowed to have guns at all. You've told them that your gun you're carrying is registered to you, unlike most of the guns they see out on the street. A lot of the guns they see are ghost guns, guns that don't have serial numbers, or they're stolen guns that are not registered to the person who's carrying it. When you tell them that you have a California CCW license, you're the good guy. You told them that you're vetted, you're background checked, you're carrying a gun that's registered to you, and then you're going to follow their instructions. The ball's in their court at that point. Some officers are cool with it. They'll say, "All right, don't go for yours, I won't go for mine." Cool. You proceed with the stop, get your license registration and all that. No problem. Some officers will have you step out of the car. They'll want to disarm you for the encounter. That's okay. They are allowed to inspect both your CCW license and any gun that you're carrying, and that's part of California CCW law. So don't push back if they ask to see your permit or if they ask to see your gun. Just do it safely and do what they ask you to do. While the officer's approaching the car, don't do what we call furtive movements. Don't try to hide the gun under the seat or in the dashboard. Officers are trained to look for that sort of thing, and you don't want them to come up to the car already thinking that there's something bad going on. You also don't want them to find the gun on their own. If you're carrying and you have to reach past your gun to get to your wallet where your license is and your insurance proof that they're going to ask for, you don't want them to see the gun as you're reaching and you haven't already told them. That's going to lead to a bad situation real fast. Also, very often police are approaching the vehicle in pairs. So there's one over on the driver's side that you're talking to, and you may not even notice that there's another officer over on the other side of the car doing a passenger side approach where they may see the gun that you're carrying, and then things can go downhill real fast. If you are asked out of the vehicle, cooperate, keep your hands visible at all times, and let them take the gun off of you if that's what they want to do. I know there was a recent incident where an officer had a negligent discharge while disarming a lawful carrier, and that's real unfortunate, but that's the only time I've ever heard of that happening. So I would trust that most police officers know what they're doing with a gun, and you're going to be safe. So if you're not supposed to be carrying a gun, don't talk to the cops about it. You're not going to help yourself. If you are lawfully carrying a gun, I recommend keeping your hands visible, and I recommend informing them about your CCW license and whether or not you're carrying, because I think that's going to help your situation go a lot more smoothly. Of course, if you're carrying a magazine that you shouldn't be, don't talk to them about that. Don't talk to them about where you got it, how it made its way into California, when you acquired it, or anything like that. I hope this video has provided a little more information and education about what to tell the cops if you're carrying a gun in California. I'm Don Hammond at California Gun Law, and we'll catch you all next time.